on this computer.
Hi and good evening. Welcome to Diary of a Scentsy Consultant. We're on like week 5 or 6 now. I can't actually remember. I think we're in like week 6, and a few more weeks in. I'm sure I'll probably stop the numbers because I'll forget how many I've done. But tonight I am here with the lovely Theresa. I'm going to just give you a really brief introduction, but then I'm going to stop talking because obviously that will get rid of the whole point of doing this. But I have known Theresa probably since we were about 5.
Probably about that, yeah.
So a lot of years. And obviously we went to school together, senior school, and then we have obviously reconnected via Scentsy. But I am going to stop there and I am going to obviously hand over to you. I just want to say a massive thank you for doing this, because I do know when I voice noted you, you were probably like, oh my God, what are you doing?
My stomach dropped a little bit.
But that was kind of the reason I wanted to ask you, because I know you won't mind me saying, like, your growth since you started Scentsy and like doing things like this, like you would never have done this before you started Scentsy, would you?
100% not. No way.
No, definitely. Right, so let's get started. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself, like your family, your children, what your like life before you joined Scentsy, like your home life, your family life.
Okay, so I am married. I've been married to my best friend since 2008. Met him in 2005. Was ever really supposed to be a fling, and then it just turned into this like relationship, and yeah, years and years on, and we're in our little house together, and I've got my daughter, Lily Rose. I've only just got the one. I don't think I could have another, to be honest. She was a handful as it was. So yeah, she's 10. But do you know what? She actually inspires me on a daily. She's just the strongest little character. And the things that she does is just phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? And she inspires me, and just trying to do anything I can do for her is that's just my everything, really. So yeah, she's a funny onion. She's a really funny onion. I was like really happy when I found out that it was a girl, because I didn't find out throughout my pregnancy, and I was like, oh my God, I've got a little girl with like pink dresses, and you know, I can do the Disney films and everything. And then she grew up to be the tomboyiest tomboy you could imagine. I couldn't get her in any dresses. She wouldn't like watch Disney films. She's mad on football, and I was just like, right, okay. But,
no, do you know what? I love that though. That is literally my Ella. So obviously the same. Like, I'm from a dance background. I had a daughter first, and I was like, oh my God, she's gonna go to dance classes. She's gonna be in all the shows like I was. Like Ella literally could not be further from that. She never one pink, like totally knows her own mind. Like, and do you know what? Actually, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely amazing. It's made her who she wants to be, and I just think that's great. I'm all for that.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so what do you do for a living? Like, what is? I know I've sent you like I might jump between these questions, but no, they might not go in order. So, what do you do for a living? Obviously, I know you work as well as doing Scentsy. So, what do you do for a living?
So for a living, I've always been into administration. So probably for the past 20 years, I've been doing office work. Before that, before the job that I've got now, it was always sort of the 9 to 5 rat race kind of mundane work stuff. And it just got really, 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 how do you say it? I don't know how to explain it, but basically we was both working full-time jobs, and it was like, I don't know if anyone's ever played that Monopoly game where the Monopoly bloke says money in, money out. That was our life, you know, for years and years. And we was working, we was grafting, and the childcare aspect was just heartbreaking. Like the minute my daughter could walk, she was in childcare. in order to go to full-time school, she had to go into full-time childcare. So like she was dropped off at 8:15 and picked up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I never knew her teachers. I never knew where her classrooms were. So that gave me the biggest mum guilt I think I've ever felt, you know, with her growing up. And then office-wise, I think you get it in every single office job that you can probably work in. You'll get office politics.
Yeah.
That just is not my cup of tea. Not at all. And then in one of my jobs, I'm veering off a little bit, but
no, honestly, that is good, right? This is why you are my people, right? That is what but that is good, honestly. That is like the purpose of this, like for you to be open and like literally just tell us your story. Like that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Don't apologize for veering off.
So in one of my jobs that I'd held for about 10 years, this will make all sense as we keep going through this video, but
that's all right.
I got really, really badly bullied by the director of this company. So I already had the mum guilt. I already had, oh my God, I'm already sort of starting to feel like I failed as a mum. But I got badly, badly bullied by a director that owned the business. And it's like, when you're getting bullied by a director who owns a company, where do you go? Do you know what I mean? You can't exactly put in a HR request because it's going to go to their director and it's the director that's doing it. So it was a horrendous, probably 6 years of working there throughout the whole 10 that I was there. And it knocked my confidence like you wouldn't believe. Like I'd never had confidence anyway. So I've always had that confidence issue, but getting badly bullied by a director in like my mid-30s, I was like, what is going on? You know, and he belittled me. He made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And I just thought, one thing in me just snapped, and I just thought, I'm not having this no more. I need to change what I do because it's ruining me as a person. I wasn't able to sleep. And then I found a few jobs. They always say the grass is always greener on the other side, and for a couple of months it wasn't. I tried a few different jobs. I've worked at Wren Kitchens. That was horrendous. I can't do like big crowds, so I like to like hide behind things all the time. So walking
until
into
you come to SFR, because we're just going to give you a big hug.
And like, just walking into this office and there's like 200 people all in an open office environment, and I'm like, no, this is not for me. And then I got a phone call if I'd take a job working from home, and I was like, snap that up, yes please. And that's what I do. I work from home. I've got my own office. I started there in 2021. So coming up to 2 years that I've been there now, and do you know what, it's just been amazing. I can pick my daughter up from school, I can drop her off, I know who her teachers are, I know what her teachers look like, I can go to a PE sessions, I can go to assemblies. It's just absolutely fantastic, and even better because now Scentsy fits in with working from home as well. So it's like going through all that crap, and I'm sorry I'm swearing, but going through
don't apologize.
And then like sitting at where I am now, I'm just like, wow, someone just needs to pinch me because God, I've gone through some crap.
But you know what, like honestly, that literally, and do you know what I just love is like this is just gonna this is just gonna move into the next section perfectly, because obviously my next question was say like, when did you join Scentsy, why did you join Scentsy? But I obviously didn't know any of that when I asked you to join Scentsy. Didn't know what you've been through. I didn't know that you were already working from home, and I did know you were working from home. I didn't know what you did. Obviously, you know, you'd become my customer, we'd reconnected on Facebook, but I didn't know any of that backstory. So it wasn't like, you know, so I am a huge believer in like, you know, things happen and people come back into your life for a reason at a certain time. And to listening to you saying that, like honestly was giving me goosebumps, because I was like, I literally didn't know any of that. And like, talk about come full circle, like it's just honestly. So before I go, like I said, before I dip too much into that, what tell us a little bit about like, you know, how you found Scentsy? Like, how did I just come up on your feed? Like, how did you, what made you think, right, I'm gonna buy that, and then you can tell the story of how you became a consultant.
All right. So I've always loved like twinklies and my little tea light warmers. See, I even call them warmers.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
even call them burners.
Held her off on the first day. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
I remember being in the car with Dan, and I was like, I feel really bad because I've just told her. I said I don't want to scare her away. I said, but I can't have her setting off saying burners. Can I?
I've drummed it into my little girl as well now.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna stop talking. So yeah, go on.
Yeah. So it was February last year, wasn't it, when I purchased my first one? And yeah, I'd just seen like all your warmers coming up on my Facebook posts, and I was like, God, that's nice. And then I thought I'd scroll past and look at my warmers and think, well, mine don't look like that. You know what I mean? £6 from Home Bargains don't quite cut it, does it?
No.
So I was like, I need me some of that. And I think that's when I messaged her and said, right, what's this Scentsy business then? Let's have a look. And what do I need to do? I want to try it. And yeah, purchased my first mini warmer in February last year, and got my vanilla buttercream, or was it vanilla wave?
Yeah.
It was one of them.
It was one of the vanilla ones, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I think I was more or less hooked after the first couple of days, to be fair. And that's when I jumped down the Scentsy rabbit hole.
and then you obviously just naturally loved it because you were sharing it and posting about it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I had that moment of like, and I remember like you bought the Little Mermaid warmer, and their picture came up on my Facebook, and I honestly looked and I thought it was a consultant picture. Like I looked because you were like, oh, I'm working from home, got my warmer on my desk, got my cup of tea, my cup of coffee, and I was like, right, hang on a minute. So from that, when I reached out to you and said like, right, this picture looks like a consultant picture. Why are you not a consultant? Like, what was your first thought?
Oh God, absolutely no way. No, just no. Just the whole no, just shut it down. No, can't do it. But then I looked at my Little Mermaid warmer again, and I thought, well, I do like that warmer though, and I do love it. And I looked back at some of my Facebook posts, and I was like, yeah, I have been sharing that warmer quite a lot. And then I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And I think I just messaged you, and I think I just said, oh, go on then, I'll give it a go. But I think at that point, I don't really think I thought anything would ever come out of it.
No. I remember it was very much like, look, everything was, I'll give it a go, but I'll give it a go. But so you obviously had all these like barriers in your mind, like a lot of people do at the beginning. And this is why I wanted you to share your story this evening, because to go from literally where you are like a year later is, I know you don't understand like how inspiring it will be for people. So at that point you were thinking, you were literally saying to me like, I'll give it a go, but I won't be any good, and I won't be able to do it, and I don't know enough people, and all the things that everyone says. So from there where you are, from there where you joined to where you are today. Sorry, I know we are going a bit off tangent. I will come back to this in a minute. To where we are today, tell us just, in a nutshell. So obviously when you join, you're an essential consultant. Where are you now? As in terms of, what are your achievements so far within Scentsy?
There's a few things really. I sort of tried that first month that I joined, and I hit the 200 PRV, and my workstation sort of like threw a load of confetti, and I was like, oh my God, I got confetti. And then I kind of like did it every month, did the 200 PRV every month, and I didn't just, I didn't actively just stop there and go, oh, I've got 200 PRV, sit back. No. I probably did in October because I thought, oh, it's worked. And then November came, and then the Christmas came, and all the Christmas warmers was out, and I was like, I am Mrs. Christmas. So I love Christmas, and that gingerbread warmer, when that came out, I was like, I'm pushing it for that. I need that gingerbread warmer. So yeah, the 200 PIV just sort of kept consecutively coming every month, and I was like, oh my god, I keep getting confetti every month. I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And then January, was it flash sale in January, wasn't it? When I got the certified.
It was.
And I was like, oh my god.
But I must just add on to that. You were something like, I don't know, 31 PRV away when the flash sale came. So it wasn't that, you know, the flash sale came and you know, you had literally worked.
Oh yeah, I'd worked a lot before that,
up to that point. And I love that you actually went into a flash sale with 31 PRV away. So you were like, do you know what? I'm doing this. I'm doing this properly. I'm going to work my backside off. And you were so determined. And we broke it down. And you were like, right, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep working. And there was never a doubt in your mind that you were going to hit that in that month.
No.
You did it.
Yay!
Which is amazing. So obviously now you've been a Scentsy consultant since September, October. What would be the biggest tip that you would give to somebody when it comes to networking, whether you know, that's in person, whether that's, you know, via Messenger, WhatsApp? What would be your biggest tip when it comes to, like, you know, networking and getting new customers?
All right, so I'm probably going to go through 3 things here that I've got written down. Training. I watched a few training videos, all on networking, and I actually watched Tam and Lisa's Facebook group training.
Yeah.
And that was just amazing. I really took a lot from that. So I think if anybody hasn't seen that, definitely go back and watch that, because that is so insightful in terms of like what you can get from your networking on sort of Facebook and things. And then what else have I put? My personal tips and stuff for networking would be, I think you've got to find your fire first, before you sort of go out there and try and advertise who you are and what Scentsy is to you. You need that fire first. You need to know what gets you going. And for me, it was Little Mermaid warmer. So that was my fire, and that was something that I was then able to concentrate on, because I knew all these fabulous, fantastic warmers that Scentsy keep bringing out, that's something that I can really get behind and really find like fire and a passion in my belly, just to push them out there and let other people see them and share that love. But the biggest tip that I'd give is something that has probably happened to me every single month, and it would be not to get disheartened in the peaks and the troughs, because when sales go slow, you can often sit there and go, it's not working, I'm not doing it anymore, I can't do it, it's too hard. And I hold my hands up, that probably was me in the first month, and maybe in a little bit of November when sales sort of went, but all of a sudden it went back up again. So it was like a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And it's just deciding not to ride it. Do you know what I mean? You don't get carried away with oh my god, no sales, it's all going bad, because it's not. Not getting caught up as well on Facebook group. I've seen a few posts, you know, where people are saying that like it oh, I'm getting no views, or I'm only getting 2 views, what else can I do different? Nothing. There's nothing else different that you can do. And like, I was getting days where I'd post 4 or 5 times a day and nothing. And I'm like, am I even showing up on people's Facebooks, or am I like just posting to oblivion? And I just thought, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep going. And every day for the past couple of weeks, I've probably seen, I've not even been actively looking at it, but I have seen a lot more likes and a lot more shares and a lot more interaction. And I think it's just being consistent, just keep posting
Yeah.
what you're posting, and don't get tied up that you think you're doing things wrong, because I'm one of the probably one of the worst people for this, in that I will pull myself down the minute I think I can. And I've done it. I've been there. I've been in the lowest of the low when I thought my networking on Facebook wasn't working, but I just didn't let it bother me, and I just kept going and carrying on. But one thing that I do find really, really hard, I said I was going to go on a rant, didn't I?
Honestly, you are literally giving me goosebumps. I actually feel really emotional, because everything you are sharing is stuff you have learned yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I know you voiced noted me and you've gone, oh, I can't do this, and I've gone, yeah, you can, it's fine, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And then but you've already like answering your own questions, and this, honestly, carry on, honestly, it's amazing.
The one thing that does still hurt me to this day, and I am saying hurt, but that's because of my nature, that's because of who I am, and that's like being ghosted by people on Facebook when I've sent sample packs out. And I'm like, I do get really annoyed by that, because I'm like, you said you wanted a sample pack, now you're not answering me, what's going on, why is my business going so wrong, oh my god, I don't think I can do it anymore. And then I'll just lose it. But I've got to like take a step back and think, no matter, I don't care, I'll keep messaging you until you tell me to stop. I actually got a customer out of it once anyway, so
God, yes.
honestly, keep going.
You are literally like, in my head, I have literally said before, like on lives when I've gone, until somebody turns around and says to me, stop messaging me, I will always follow up with them, always.
I did go to message one lady the other day and found out that she'd actually blocked me on Facebook, so that's fine.
Oh, that's oh yeah, you'll get that. But you know what, it is that circle of control thing. Like, you can't control other people's reactions, you can't control, you know, what other people do, but you can control how you respond to it. So it's and also with the you know, if somebody blocks you, or genuinely what I've learned in doing this is that it's not about you. If I trigger people and they unfollow me and friend me, like, that's fine, like that's up to them, and we've just got to carry on and keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, all of that and everything that I've just said was really, really hard for me to do, because I do think a lot about what I say and what I do, and I do probably care too much about what people think about me. And it's turning that bit off in your mind and thinking, but it's not personal, it can't be personal. But yeah, it's just consistency and just keep going.
I think what I always try to think is, like, you know, like when next follow up, or when Theresas or somebody sends you an email, or, you know, like I'm trying to think of another example, but like where you're running a business at the end of the day, and you know, it's not personal, exactly, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not from a personal perspective. Okay, amazing. So you've obviously touched on this like briefly at the beginning, but what was your why when you joined? What was that something in you? I know I'd messaged you and gone, oh my god, you literally look like a Scentsy consultant, why are you not doing this? And you said no at first. What was your why? What made you think, do you know what, actually I'm going to give this a go?
The why back then was I loved Scentsy already, so I was like, well, I've already got Scentsy in my home, I already know what it does, I already know how bloody good it is, so yeah, I'm gonna have a go at that. And then the second reason that I've got for my why then was I thought I'd just give it a go, and I kind of like thought, yeah, just try it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen, there isn't. I've got a free joining kit out of it, and I've got a warmer and some smelly waxes in a little plastic pot. So to me, it was like win-win kind of thing. And that was my why at that moment in time.
And what is your why now? Like, what keeps you going every day and like working your Scentsy business? Because that is one thing you are consistent to the core. Like, no matter what's going on, you are working your business.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, my wine now has changed poles apart from what it was probably back in September last year. It's just my why is to keep growing my confidence. Because so far I've kind of sort of proved to myself that I absolutely can do this, and nothing should be holding holding me back, you know. And I want to show Lily as well that anything is possible if you want it bad enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I'm only on certified consultant, and that's fine, but I've still got a passion in my belly that I'm going to drive this as far as it'll go. And
No. You are not only on certified consultant. You are on certified consultant, and you have literally smashed it. Now, this is the thing. It's really important, and I know you Laura say this all the time. It doesn't matter. Everybody's journey is so unique and individual. So that is not only on certified consultant. You have absolutely smashed it. And there's a few other things I'm going to move on to in a minute. But yeah, no, you have come like so far, and in your confidence, like I remember you saying at the beginning, like I could never do a live video.
No.
And what are you doing now?
Trying to do live videos without trying not to swear as well. That's quite hard. Proper Yorkshire girl, and sometimes it just slips out.
And keeping it real, authenticity, right? It's one of the core values. But
so yeah, and then what else did I put? Oh, I've also put to fill every socket as well, but that's just because I've got a few spare sockets that I need to fill with small warmers.
Oh well, that'll happen. That's
definitely going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, when I remember quite early on you putting up a post with Lily and saying like, you know, she gets involved, like she helps me make samples, like she's so invested in this business with me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think when I saw that at that point, I was like, oh my God, she's like literally loves it, because it becomes just part of your family, doesn't it? Like
yeah, it does.
So what does she do? Is that in terms of, does she, like when you get your orders in, does she help you make samples? Like how does she get involved with the business?
Oh, she's the first one there. If I'm there and I've got an order and it's for me, she's the first one there. What you got? Well, an order for me. Yeah, but what is it? Oh, let me have a smell. And she straight nicks it out of my hand, opens it up, and she's the first one smelling it. I mean, I could never video her doing that, because if she doesn't like a smell, she certainly makes it quite clear that she's not a fan of it. So I don't think that's, from a marketing perspective, I don't think that's going to sell me any wax. But no, she's just great. She just loves it, and I think she loves the fact that there's the Marvel stuff, and I only wish she wanted the Disney stuff secretly, because I do too. But and she's not into Harry Potter. But the Marvel stuff is her. So every time she knows there's a flash sale, I'm pretty sure if she could jump on and go onto my website on her phone, she'd probably be shopping on the Scentsy flash sale to see what bargains she can grab. But no, she's just brilliant. Like every time I get an order, I'll tell her. We sort of like high five each other a little bit, and she was there with me on the night of the flash sale. And I told her that I'd trying to work towards being certified consultant, and she was just like my biggest cheerleader in the house, and it was just absolutely amazing. I think my husband was at home that night, so it was just me and her just dancing around the front room, you know. And it was just like it was sweet. It was something that we could do together, and we celebrated together. So,
but it is, and like without even realizing it, like what the behaviors that you're modeling for her is, you know, like you said, if you want to do something, like you set your mind to it, you absolutely bloody go for it. Like there's absolutely no reason why not.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so we've talked about your why. What is the best piece of advice? So if somebody was starting today, like if somebody literally had joined Scentsy, this is the bottom question, by the way. If somebody was starting today, what would be the best piece of advice that you give them in terms of like when I say your confidence has grown, like that is like the biggest understatement of the century. Like if I looked back at your messages, like when you first joined, to the conversations that we had now, just for example, like this week we just like made my morning when we talked about sponsoring and you really want to sponsor, and then within about an hour you were like, I've only gone and done it. I've only gone and done it.
Yeah.
So what would be your best piece of advice to somebody that was starting their Scentsy business today?
Yeah. So keep going, keep at it, be consistent, and if you know that you're not pushing your self-confidence or pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, you're never going to grow your why. Think about where you want to be, soak up all of the training that's out there, because every bit of it is absolutely amazing, and just take tips and advice from everybody, because the one thing that I found that I absolutely love is the community of group Glitter Sparkle is like, it's great. Do you know, it's like, it's a virtual pat on the back from everybody, and everybody gets involved in it, and you're having low days, you could probably go on to there, read a few posts and think, oh, come on, let's bump myself up a little bit. It's just ace.
Oh, I just love it. I just honestly, it is, and that is what Scentsy is about, and that's why, like you said, and I think the fact that you've said, like you said earlier on, there are going to be high days and low days, and there's going to be ebbs and flows, and that never changes. Like there's not one business in the world, whether it's network marketing, direct sales, a traditional business, there's no business that's like linear, that is all just high flying all the time. That's just not running a business. But it, like you said, it's just being consistent, like feeling those days, going with it and riding it out, and coming out the other side. So no, that is amazing. So what, aside from income, has Scentsy done for your life?
Oh, it's properly forced me well and truly out of my shell. I'm kind of like finding this confidence that I didn't even know that I even had. And it's nice because, okay, it's petrifying, don't get me wrong. I think every time I go live I'm like this, no, can't do it, and then like, no, can't do it, and I probably have to vape about 20 minutes straight just before I can actually press that go live button, but I do it, and once I finish my live, it's a buzz. It's like, Theresa, you've just done that, just keep going and do it again, feel that buzz again. What else have I put? It's given me something for me, like my office, my new collapse unit that I've just got, like I just love it. I absolutely love it, because it's got everything and it's all mine. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's me, it's a space for me, and it's filled with things that I like, and it's just something that I can put my time into, that I want to put my time into, instead of it being, don't get me wrong here, I absolutely adore going and watching Lily play football. I absolutely adore sort of being a wife, being a mum. But then I sit back and I think, yeah, but what do you do for you? And I do Scentsy, and that's now what I do for me, because it just gives me that something to keep, I don't know, to like,
to remember who you are before, take all those other things away.
100%, definitely. And yeah, and hopefully, oh God, touch wood, because honestly, if I said the bins went out more than me, I wouldn't be lying. Honestly, I wouldn't be lying. So I'm hoping that it's going to open up a little social life as well. Even if it's a virtual one, it doesn't matter, because over the last few years, it's like I've turned into a bit of a machine, a bit of a mum machine, a wife machine, a house machine, a work machine.
Yeah.
And it becomes where it's like Groundhog Day, and it just repeats and it repeats. But then with Scentsy, I found that there's that little virtual thing that you can escape into, and it's good, it's nice, and it's something that I've probably not had for years, and yeah, I love it.
Oh my goodness me. You wait till you come to an event. Your head's going to like explode.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait.
There is nothing, for all the reasons above that you've just said, like there is nothing like being at a Scentsy event. Like guys, people that are on the Zoom, if you've been to SFR World Tour or an incentive trip, drop a word in the comments to describe the feeling of being at a Scentsy event. Because I remember when let's see what word starts dropping it. Hang on, what we got here? So amazing, out of this world, amazing. Honestly, it's. I always remember going to, because even when I went to my first Scentsy, so you obviously come into Scentsy family reunion. When I went to my first Scentsy energizing, when I went to my first Scentsy family reunion, I'd actually been with Scentsy like 3 years, but the previous 2 I couldn't. They'd been like abroad and stuff. So when I went, I'd been to World Tours, but I'd never been to SFR, and my first one was in Amsterdam. There is no words to describe being there. Uplifting. Oh my god, it is. You're gonna love it. And I remember Joanne Davison, who was my SSD, like my lovely friend Jo, she said to me, it is like sticking your finger in the Scentsy socket. And she was like, if you think, like I'd been on an incentive trip, I was a director, I think, or star director. So I was already like very fully immersed in the Scentsy world, but there is nothing like SFR. Like you literally come home and you like you just want to walk the streets, literally going to people, you need to join Scentsy, you need to join Scentsy, you need to join Scentsy. So, and what you just said about the social aspect as well is like what starts to happen when you go to events is you obviously, like we've got a wonderful team, a wonderful group, a wonderful community within our team, but there's a wider Scentsy community out there. And what starts to happen when you go to events is you start to meet people, like make connections, you meet people from other teams, and you know, then you go to events in the future. And like this retreat that I went to, I'm going to somewhere this weekend with Louise Graham, who's another superstar director, and Emma and I are going because it's only down the road. But we're the only ones from our team, or, you know, the other people are from another team, and it's lovely because you start to connect with people. So the fact that that's one thing that you want to get out of Scentsy, like you are 100% going to get that out of Scentsy. Like it is, yeah. It's amazing. Okay, you've referenced one already, but are there any like stand out to you? I know you've just talked about the Facebook group ones, but are there any like particular trainings you've listened to where you've had like a real wow moment, like oh my god, like that is literally just like changed my business or changed my mindset on something?
Yeah, and it was probably listening to Katrina McLean doing her interview, because what she said was, let me try and find it because I've written it down where it's like, she said, stop being embarrassed about selling Scentsy and get it posted on your personal group. Why not post it on your Facebook group? I'm sure it was Katrina who said it.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
Hi. My daughter's at the door, sorry.
She can come and say hello if she wants.
You want to come and say
hello? Come and say hello. Hi.
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah.
Do you love Scentsy?
Do you love Scentsy?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favourite warmer? I think I know the answer.
Warmer. Which one is it? Favourite?
My Baby Yoda.
Your Baby Yoda one? That's your diffuser, innit? Yeah.
Do you like? I remember your mum getting the Thor hammer and you being very excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one, don't you?
And my Batman one.
And your Batman one.
And your Batman one.
Yeah. Right, off you go then. No, you can do now. Bye. No, not with that.
See you,
Bye. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Sorry.
Don't apologise, honestly. Never apologise. Honestly, I remember doing a live we've had when in my customer group once, and I was smelling a new collection. You're saying about her being honest. And Harry went, "Oh, that smells like Daddy's armpits," and I was like, I think he meant like aftershave, but you know that always sticks with me.
But yeah, so going back to what we were talking about, that was definitely a light bulb moment for me. Not quite a training thing.
But yeah,
just that comment, and it was like light bulb. Yeah, why aren't I posting Scentsy on my personal group? Like, we see people posting pictures of the Sunday dinner. So
Oh,
what's wrong in posting pictures of my warmers? Do you know what I mean? They're probably not a lot nicer to look at.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's who I am. It's what I like. So why aren't I doing that? And I actually think I started to do that. And it was just not being worried and thinking, oh, God, what are people going to think? You know what I mean? Or Theresa's posting pictures about Scentsy again. Well, I don't care, because I will, because I like it. And that's it.
Exactly that. And if people, like, it's not in an arrogant way, it's not in any way like that, but at the end of the day, if people don't like it, they don't have to look at it. Like, they can keep on scrolling. Like, it's not. And do you know what you just said, which is like really amazing as well, is that this is why it's so important for people to, you know, watch trainings, show up to things like this, or if they can't, you know, if they can't show up live, then watch it back on replay. Like, because I certainly know that over the last 6 years, like, I might be listening to when I'm driving or cooking or like putting my washing away or something, and literally there'll be, like, say, there'll be one sentence and you go, oh my God, like, you know, that, and if you don't immerse yourself in these things, you're not gonna have those opportunities of hearing those, like, you know, those light bulb moments. And sometimes it might be at an event, but this is why I don't, you know, there's no, coming back to what you said at the beginning about like the company that you work for, like politics and stuff. I've literally never known anything like Scentsy, where people so readily share and, you know, share their experiences and share their knowledge and share what's worked for them. And it doesn't mean you have to do everything, but there might just be that little nugget of information that you think, oh, actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it is amazing. Okay, have you got a funny or inspiring story, like, since you've been with your business? So whether that's like you've been doing a live video and something funny happened, or you've dropped off an order, or a customer sent you a funny message, or it's
no. Sorry, she's still here. She's like sat in the corner watching, which is
that's
me
all
off.
right.
Oh, she's gone. What have I got? I don't know. I think was it the first or the second? Probably the second live video that I did. And this is still at the point where, like, I'm feeling physically sick before I press record, or I'm like, you know, just hands doing this to press my live, and I just thought, just do it, Theresa, just do it. And I pressed OK, not thinking what was actually going on in the background, because I was there trying to sort of sell. Can't remember what I was going live about. It wasn't a Thursday deal. It was something different. I can't remember, but anyway, I was on there and I'm giving it large on my live, and all of a sudden I remembered that my daughter is sat in the other front room with Fortnite, and she's absolutely screaming her head off on this Fortnite game, and all you could hear when I played it back was her squawking Fortnite in background. And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry if you can hear my daughter in the background. She's a massive Fortnite fan. And then with that, she's screaming again. And I just thought, oh my God. So, lesson from that, I never now go live anywhere where she is about to play Fortnite. It's always, you know, lock myself in a room.
But do you know what, though? That's actually brilliant, because that is real life. And if anyone's watching that and, you know, was watching you and thinking, do you know what, maybe I could be a Scentsy consultant. Maybe when you say, like, put a post up about, would you say, you know, like, you work this around your life. We say it all the time, you know, Scentsy fits into your life, not the other way around. But that's real life, you know. Kids are loud.
Yeah.
They're noisy.
Loud.
Honestly, well, you know, sometimes when I try and go live in the team group and I'm just like, oh, Finley's like, Mum, need a yogurt, Mum. Why am I doing this when I went to the preschool? But, you know, that is life. So, okay. So have you, and obviously we've talked a lot about like Scentsy trainings. Have you like listened to any personal development audios, read any books since joining that you perhaps hadn't read before or listened to?
No, to be honest, I'm not a very good answer for this one, because I haven't read any motivational books. However, the one thing that I do sort of religiously swear by, and it's probably completely different, but not, and that's the Mrs. Hinch. I don't know if anyone has got the boxes then.
Hello.
Have you got the same?
Yes. Yes. And we
And
didn't
then
know that either.
And then there's that one.
Yeah, I haven't got that one, but yeah.
Oh, that one's amazing. That one is amazing. But do you know what? It's not just you think Mrs. Hinch and you think, oh, cleaning, but it's not. It's not just cleaning. Like in the back of mine, I actually did my my goals out of it.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a girl thing at the back. She says when she can find it. So that's my little.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
I can, and I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I can.
So like that's not quite the same as like a motivational book or an audio, but to me it is, because
That is, yeah.
that's something that I use to keep motivated, to list things down, because we all work in like different ways, and
Yeah.
I find it so much better to work from a list. And you can do lists for your house, you can do lists for DIY projects, not that that makes my husband very happy, but you can do, like, you know what I mean, you sense it.
Yeah.
It just goes in, and I just love what she's done with her lists and her advice as well. She's actually written a book as well. I've read that a little bit, and that's quite good.
But the thing is, Mrs. Hinch is actually a really good example, because she is literally like social selling to a T. Like, she shared something that she loved and she's made a career out of it. So she's actually the queen of attraction marketing. So like when we're sharing about, she doesn't put up a thing and go, oh, look, buy this minky, what are they called? I don't know. You know, she just literally shared what she does, and that is literally what we do, and that is how our post should be, like attraction marketing post. And you are right, like literally, I love her list book every day. Like,
I love it.
It's perfect because it's got the little columns. So no, but the thing is, that is personal development. Goal setting is all part of it, and you know, if you don't know what you're aiming for, how are you ever going to get there, you know, at the end of the day? So no, that is, and that's perfect. And the thing is, that's actually like fully okay that you said that, because some people, I'd only read like a little bit or listened like from being in the fitness world, but prior to that, I'd never, you know, like The Secret, The Magic, all those kind of things. I never really knew what personal development was. And at the end of the day, like, it's small steps, isn't it? But purpose of personal development is working on your mindset and your confidence, and you 100% have done that, haven't you? Because you so for example, like with sponsoring, you know, like when you were like, I just can't do it, I just can't, and then, you know, we've had various conversations back and forth, and and now you're like, actually, do you know what, I can do it.
I've hopefully got 3.
I know.
I can't believe it.
I know. So it's absolutely amazing. So I will wrap this up in a moment, but before we kind of like finish, is there anything else you know, like before we finish, that you just want to share with anyone, like anyone that has either, you know, not been in the business very long, or, you know, is there anything you want to end on, like before we finish, just in terms of, you know, a tip, or what's been the biggest thing that you've loved, or just anything really, like what you know, why you love being a Scentsy consultant?
Just, there's loads of things that I could say. There's loads and loads of things. There's so much in my Scentsy pot that I just love, you know, just love it. And I think if I could say anything to anybody, it would be just give it time. Don't expect massive things overnight. You can get that, don't get me wrong. I've seen some phenomenal people lately who has been like smashing it in like the first month, and that's like amazing. But you know, if you sort of like on your 200 and things, just keep going. Don't look at what other people are doing. Put some blinkers on and cheer everybody else on when they are making their achievements and reaching their goals, but never ever compare that to what you're doing, because it is just completely different. It is so completely different. And just work on you and your business. And I think that's probably the best bit of advice I'd give to somebody.
1,000,000%. Like, Tay Grigg, who I can see is on this as well, like she's always the person that comes to mind when I say this, and it's like, stay in your lane, stay in your lane, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. And it's so true, like cheer everybody on, like be happy for people. But it's what I always think is as well, like you never know like what other people have got going on, like what experience they've had before. Like it's actually irrelevant what other people are doing. Like your business is yours alone, and that's what you need to focus on, that's what you need to work on. And if you're constantly giving your energy and time and focus on what other people are doing, you're not focusing on yourself. So that is like literally the perfect thing to finish on, is like, you know, focus on your own business, grow you and yourself. And you know, I just want to say, honestly, the biggest thank you for doing this tonight, because I know how massive this was for you. But you've done it, and then you can come off here tonight and be like, oh my God, I did it. Like, it's another thing that you can tick off your list and go, do you know what, actually, I achieved that. And that's what it's all about. And it's about, and I know you probably still won't believe me after we get off here, but you have got absolutely no idea, either the people watching tonight or the people want to share the recording, how many people you will inspire from doing this. And that is the first steps into leadership, is that, you know, it's just sharing what works for you and sharing your experiences. And that's what you've done tonight. So honestly, just thank you so much, Emma. Thank you. Oh, love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Right, so yeah, thank you very much. I will share the recording tomorrow. So honestly, just thank you. It's like massively appreciated, and you've been absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Onwards and upwards, my love.
Thank you.
Right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.